Hello and welcome back to My Mom's Basement. I have Uncle Dana back with me. By the way, Uncle Dana, speaking of the whole Uncle Dana thing, I looked up to find a clip from one of our old interviews the other day, Robbie Fox, Dana White, and one of the first things that comes up is Dana White nephew. So I think people actually think we're related at this point.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
You're a great kid. I wouldn't mind you being my nephew.
That's an honor, Dana. You're a great guy. I wouldn't mind you being my uncle. Speaking of, you just had COVID. You just got over COVID, right? Thanks to Dr. Joe Rogan. What did you do when you were quarantined with COVID? Were you watching shows and movies? Anything good?
No, I didn't do any of that. I worked out twice a day, and I don't like TV shows. I can't watch them. I don't like them.
Any TV show? You don't like any TV shows?
Any TV shows? None. I can't watch them.
That's crazy. Why do they drive you crazy?
Because most of the times, there's so many episodes, and I figure out what the plot is, and I start doing all that shit.
But you like movies. You're a movie guy, right?
I like movies. Yeah, I like movies. I watched the new Ghostbusters. That's what I watched.
Oh, did you like that? I saw that.
Yeah, I watched that. Yeah, it was pretty good.
Yeah, I thought it was a good one. Did you watch Bruised, the Halle Berry MMA movie?
I definitely. She screened that for me before it came out.
What did you think about that?
Yeah, I liked it. Obviously, it's her artistic take on the sport of mixed martial arts, and she wanted to portray where she came from and what life is like coming out of where she came from. So it's a cool, different perspective. I like seeing different people's perspective about the sport.
It really came off like she really went into it. Like some of the moves she was doing, I was like, oh shit, Halle Berry kind of learned how to do MMA for this movie. Halle
Berry is an absolute fan, man. She loves this sport so much, and she respects the athletes so much. And, so to have somebody, somebody who's won an Academy Award and who's, highly regarded as she is, and she's she killed the acting in that movie. Yeah,
great performance.
The acting, she's an incredible actress, and to have somebody of that caliber getting behind the sport and giving her own take on it, I think it's awesome.
Yeah, and there's just not many MMA movies in general. Like Warrior, there's the Tom Hardy movie out there. Have you seen that one?
Yep.
Like that's a good one, but other than Warrior and Bruce, it's hard to think of them right off the top of the head. There's the TV show Kingdom, but it was just cool seeing representation, seeing UFC highlights in the beginning of the movie. That was all cool.
It's true. It's hard. It's hard to do fight movies, man. Stallone nailed it. Stallone was always really good. The Rockies are great. Raging Bull. And then I don't know. You know what I mean? It's tough to make a good fight movie.
Yeah, it's real hard. Speaking of
The Fighter was good though.
Oh, great.
Wahlberg's movie, The Fighter, was a good one.
About Christian Bale. Yeah,
that was a good movie.
Great movie.
Yeah.
Speaking of fights, though, we got some great fights this weekend, some real fights, not in movies, and in the UFC 269. It is obviously headlined by Charles Oliveira versus Dustin Poirier for the UFC lightweight title. I've seen so many people already talking about who is Dustin going to face after this? Who's Dustin's first challenger going to be? Do you feel like too many people are treating this like it's foregone conclusion when you've got Charles Oliveira, someone as dangerous as him in that fight?
There's no doubt that Charles Oliveira doesn't get the credit he deserves yet. He's one of those guys that's just got to keep grinding, keep winning, like Usman. Usman just recently started being respected the way that he should. You know what I mean? And if Oliveira keeps knocking him down, he will. The guy has 28 of his 30 wins have come by finish. He's got a 90% finish rate. What's more exciting than that? He broke all these records, most finishes in UFC, most submissions, most performance of the night bonuses. The guy is a stud.
Yeah, absolutely. And we have that division is full of contenders right now. I feel like there's so many sharks in that division. Connor just recently tweeted when I come back, I'm fighting for the title, whatever. We've got Gaichi waiting in the wings. Do you know what is next for whoever the champion is? I know you don't make fights before fight night, but is Gaichi confirmed the next challenger?
Well, yeah, Gaichi's next. Yeah. You got, Oliveira and Poirier, champion and number one. Gaethje's number two.
After that fight with Chandler,
one of the greatest fights anybody's ever seen.
Yeah, it's true. In the co-main event, we've got Nunes versus Pena. I can't wait for this. But is Nunes possibly too good? Is that an issue as a promoter? You ever find where you're who do we put her up against next? Because she's beaten everyone.
No, it's awesome to have somebody that is literally the GOAT of women's combat sports, period. There's no greater fighter on earth. You put Amanda Nunes up against any woman on planet Earth.
Some men.
She beats the shit out of them.
I think most men.
And a lot of men too.
Yeah, there's tons of good fights other than that, though. Neal and Ponzinibbio, Kai Kara-France versus Cody Garbrandt, the O'Malley fight. Your thoughts personally on O'Malley? There's been some chatter about like people want to see him face these bigger names, and O'Malley has come back and said, I'm not facing them on my current contract. Like, we'll have to renegotiate when it comes to that. What is your perspective on fighters kind of treating things like that?
It has nothing to do with his contract. I mean, he's not ready. You guys want to throw him to the wolves. You don't move somebody that fast unless they're Khamzat Chimaev.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Khamzat is a guy you feel comfortable moving that fast. I mean, O'Malley just lost a couple fights ago to Cheeto, yeah. So talking about bigger fights and all that shit, this is a tough fight for him on Saturday night.
Yeah.
In his last fight, he looked incredible. He put on a clinic. I think because O'Malley's so popular and whatever, you're always going to have the critics that give this kid shit. You know what I mean? He's a tough kid. He's fun. He's exciting to watch, but he's making his way, the way you're supposed to.
Yeah.
You don't just turn O'Malley around and throw him in there against killers. It's not how it works.
Yeah. So you're okay with him kind of saying like, I'm not going to fight them yet, regardless of the reason, I guess.
100%.
How do you decide who's going to be on your If You Don't Know, Now You Know videos? This is just a random question kind of, but is that your personal, like, these are the fights I'm legitimately looking forward to the most?
So when you look at the weight divisions, they're split in half between Sean and Mick, the matchmakers. So I have the matchmakers bring me the best fights that people might not know about.
Oh, gotcha. So when you say they split them between them, is Sean in charge of like one and then Mick's in charge of another complete like half of the UFC there?
Exactly.
Gotcha. Some great fights this past weekend that I'd love to bring up. Jose Aldo looked great. It's crazy seeing him looking as good as he does in 2021. It's like, this guy's just not aging. He wants a shot at TJ Dillashaw. What do you think about that fight? Two former champions. They were champions at the same time. Seems like a fan favorite fight. What did you think of that call out?
I love it.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I love it.
Good, because I like that fight too. Yeah.
And it's number 2 versus number 3.
I think that's the fight to make right now. I know we're not matchmaking right here, but I would love to see it myself as a fan. I saw today the WWE just signed some name, image, likeness deals for NCAA athletes. Would the UFC ever think about doing that for like MMA prospects?
It's so crazy because it's crazy that you're asking me this. I literally called my lawyer last night and was talking about this. And he said the WWE is doing it right now. I just heard about this last night.
Yeah, I just heard about it today. I saw it. Yeah,
it's a tricky one.
It's tricky. So new, right? That like you don't. Yeah. You almost want to like wait and see how it plays out with other companies before the UFC dives in.
Exactly.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah, it's interesting. I don't know yet. We're diving into that this week.
All right, good. I'm glad that at least you got eyes on it because I saw the WWE do it, and that was the first thing that came to mind for me. Like, oh, I wonder if that could be a potential.
Great question. It literally came up last night.
This one is a gambling question, maybe sponsored by the Barstool Sportsbook or whatever. Besides blackjack, do you have a favorite game to gamble on? And then do you have a least favorite game? Like, I'm not going anywhere near X.
Yeah. So my favorite game by far and away is blackjack. I really don't play anything else, but I ain't going to lie. I do every now and then have a little fun with craps.
Oh, yeah. Everyone says that's a good group game, right? If you got a good group around the table.
I wouldn't touch a slot machine with a 10-foot pole.
I don't think you need to. Yeah. I mean, what are you going to want out of a slot machine, Uncle Dana?
They're silly to me.
I hope to one day get to the level where I say slot machines are silly to me. That's a new goal, New Year's resolution. I hope to make that much money next year. Any news or updates on the Abu Dhabi deal you guys were working on or no?
Just, I'm still working on that now. I was hoping to have that announcement in 2020, but it looks like we'll be announcing it. 2021 and 2022 instead. Still working on it. It's a big deal.
Another big deal, not as big as the Abu Dhabi deal maybe, but something that a lot of fans overseas are looking forward to is the return to the UK. There's been tons of rumors about this happening in early 2022. Is that true that the UFC is going back to the UK soon?
Well, we're taking it day by day. Jesus, we're taking it day by day. We're working on it. I'm going to go to places that are easy to roll into, sell tickets, have fans show up without a bunch of bullshit.
Yeah, I understand that. Another person I'm looking for an update on is our friend Hasbulla. Last time I was saying, oh my God, I cannot believe you met with him. I can't believe that this is happening, right? And I recently saw the UFC put together a hilarious like promo video for this past upcoming fight where it looked like Hasbulla's fight and had like his little laugh in the background. It was so funny. So I assume the relationship is still going well. Is there a chance that we see Hasbulla in a UFC video game? I've seen people asking for that.
I love the kid. I want to get him out here to the States and get maybe have him do a round with media. And
he should. He talks about the United States in his videos like it's an amusement park. He's like, oh, I want to go to the United States where there's roller coasters and water slides. It's like, well, there's a lot more than that, but come on over, Hasbulla. We would love to have you here. If you bring him for media, I'll fly out to Vegas. I'll do all of it for Hasbulla.
Deal.
That guy's the new king.
Deal.
Christmas quickly approaching. This one is maybe a bizarre question, but I figured it's Christmas season. Let's get a fun one from Uncle Dana. What is the best Christmas present you ever received?
The best Christmas present I ever received. That's a tough one, man.
Did you have one as a kid, like a toy you wanted so bad or something?
Santa. I don't get a lot of presents.
What's the best like present you've given? Are you a good gift giver? You got to be, right?
I'm pretty good. Yeah, I'm pretty good. I don't know. I mean, the best gift I've ever given, usually my people that are close to me, I give out money.
Oh, that's
give money to the people that are close to me, and let them get whatever they want. Obviously, my kids have had unbelievable gifts over the last 20 years.
You didn't have any toy that you like wanted so bad as a kid, and then you got on Christmas, you were like, holy shit.
Well, the way that it worked when I was a kid is we would get one big gift.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you get one big gift. Like I remember one year I got a boom box when boom box was big. And,
Run
stuff
DMC
like that.
days or something.
One big gift. And then we'd get shit that you're supposed to buy as a parent, like socks and underwear and toothpaste and shit like that. Which is kind of unfair, but whatever.
Yeah, they're stocking stuffers, right? Yeah.
You're supposed to buy me this way daily, not on Christmas. But I don't know. I don't know. It's a tough one. It's a tough one to answer. I don't remember a lot of things, and to be honest with you, some of them I probably wouldn't say.
At the end of the year, I just mentioned Christmas around the corner. If you looked back at this calendar year, could you name what your favorite fight of the year was, or is there just too many?
I mean, that's a no-brainer. Off the top of my head, right here, asking me that question, it would have to be Gaichi Chandler.
Right at MSG. I was fortunate enough to be in attendance for that one, and that was far and away. I've been to a lot of UFC shows in my life. That was the best fight I've ever seen in my life in person.
It was insane.
That first round, and the energy in the arena too.
The fact that it was at MSG, the fans were absolutely fucking insane, and just everything with that fight. And then what happened is, this is what's sad, and I feel sorry for these kids that I'm even going to say this. The kids who fought right after them, what fight was that?
It was Billy Quarantillo and Shane Burgos. It was an amazing fight.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was an awesome fight. And that fight didn't get the love that it deserved because everybody was fucking exhausted from Chandler Gaichi.
Yeah, they were understandable. They were understanding of the situation. I saw them post memes right afterwards. Like they were watching the fight backstage, like, oh fuck, we're gonna have to go out there and just the crowd's gonna be dead. And like you said, it was an amazing fight. It was maybe other than that, maybe the fight of the night. It was so good.
It was an incredible fight.
I think they set new records for like and punches thrown and shit. Yeah,
the love they deserve.
Crazy. And then fighter of the year. If you had to name your fighter of the year, who would that be on your list?
Rose could be on that list too.
Who was the first name you said? I think you cut out a little.
Usman,
yeah, of course. I mean, Trevor Whitman, his fighters, he had all 3 win at MSG. He could be coach of the year just from that alone. Coach Khabib is pretty good though too. Went undefeated, I think.
No, it's true.
Unbelievable. It's been a great year in the UFC. It's going to keep going. Final thing, I saw some people asking for updates on John Jones. Do you have any updates on John Jones or no?
So Jones wants to fight in next year. You know, we all know that. So we're rolling up on next year here. The big heavyweight fight's going to happen in January, which I'm super excited for. And then we'll see what John wants to do.
Do you think Jones is the kind of fighter who can jump right into a title fight? Like he's, you know, you could give him that heavyweight title fight right away, or would you want him to prove himself at that division before you put him in a championship match?
I have no idea. But yeah, he would be a guy that you could throw right in there.
I feel like, yeah.
I mean, many people believe he's the GOAT, man, that he's the best. And realistically, when you look at him, he's undefeated.
Yeah.
Guys
Other
undefeated.
than that,
Never
you know
lost
what?
a fight.
I don't really like him though. So I say, yeah, he lost that fight with the elbow.
I hear you. I hear you. You know, he does make it hard for people to like him. You know, there's people who love him and there's other people who hate him. But what you can't deny, the guy has never lost a fight, man. You can't deny that. You can hate him and say, oh yeah, it was an illegal elbow. He won the fight.
Yeah.
He was beating the shit out of him. He beat the shit out of him so bad he got disqualified. Okay. John Jones has never lost a fight. And I think that people don't appreciate, you know, like Usman and Jones and these people that stay on top for so long and never lose. Amanda Nunes. It's so special.
Yeah.
It's really special.
Because maybe they look at it one to boxing, right?
Sport.
Like in boxing, it's so different. In boxing, you can stay on top for so long like that. 100%. And like in MMA, it's so different. People don't realize that, I don't think.
100%. Well, I think they realize that they just don't appreciate it as much as they should. It's very, very hard to do in this sport. And when somebody does it, it's a big deal and it's special.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I'm looking forward to
whatever you think of John Jones personally, or whatever your deal is, you can't deny he's been one of the baddest guys to ever set foot in a square, an octagon,
any shape.
Any shape. One of the baddest to ever do it.
Yeah, no, he is. I can't deny that. And I love watching him fight. Every time he steps in the cage, you know, I'm rooting for him to get knocked out every time, but I love watching the actual fight itself. So it is what it is with John. It's like, do I want to see him fight again? Yeah, probably. I want to see someone knock his head off. That'd be great. Francis Ngannou, hopefully him.
There you go.
I'm looking forward to it. Uncle Dana, as always, I appreciate the time.
One way or another, that's all I care about.
Yeah, no, I care. I definitely care one way. Looking forward to UFC 269 this weekend. Dustin Poirier versus Charles Oliveira. Amanda Nunes versus Juliana Pena. It's an amazing card, top to bottom, and I can't wait for it. I'll talk to you next time, Uncle Dana.
Thanks, buddy. You and your family have a happy holiday.
You as well.